So here we have this week's sneaker releases, and I'm going to go through the past week of releases that came out, and trainers that you can probably pick up still, I think, some of them anyway. And the first pair up is the Adidas SL72, which is the 75th anniversary pack. And this particular sneaker, or sneakers, I think there's about 4 or 5 of them, various different Adidas models and silhouettes, but it's all kind of standard stuff. There's nothing too special going on with these. Maybe the materials have got sort of slight switch up. And then next up was the Air Jordan 11, and as predicted, this is sitting at the moment, which is the diffused blue colorway. And in all honesty, if you like Jordan 11s, then I don't think you can go wrong with a pair of these. But for me, I'm not really too much of a fan of Jordan 11, so that's why I'm going to give it a miss. And then you got the Cecily Bunsen, and this is the Asics Gel Quantum 360 8. I didn't see them release on the Asics website, so I'm guessing there's the Cecily website which probably had them, I guess, but I didn't see them release or any sort of word of them on the Asics website. And then you got the Nike Air Terra Humara, and these pairs aren't too bad actually. I know the Undefeated pairs came out a few years back, and not something that I would wear. It's more kind of similar to an ATG type trail hiking type footwear, and to me it's a bit average. If I can pick them up and sell just to sort of check out and review, then I probably would. And then you got the Crocs Bubble Clog, and this came out in various different colorways on the 21st of August, and seen some pics online with people wearing these on Instagram. They had that, they do look cool, especially the midsole outsole combination. Not something that I would wear, but I would curious to sort of see what they're like in terms of sort of checking them out, really, I suppose. But the chunky style is not something that I would gravitate towards anyway. The Nike Clogposit Chrome and Cream. I've got the cream pair, which I'll be reviewing, and it's one of those pairs that I thought might be more on the limited side, but they seem to be sitting quite a bit, which is probably a good thing. The pair that I bought, and it seems to be true to size, but when I put socks on, they feel really tight, so they're probably going to end up going back, and maybe later on I'll pick up a half size bigger, and because I do really like them. And then the Nocta Nike Hot Step 2 in Eggplant. This was extremely limited apparently in numbers, and maybe it's just to build up that sort of hype. But to me, it's a very sort of poor looking sneaker, and the colourway doesn't do it any favours either. And then also the Basement New Balance 1906Rs. These also dropped, and it was on selected retailers such as N Clothing. And I know they had the 2002Rs quite a while back for the Basement collab. Had these for entry as well, but I didn't go for them because I've got quite a few pairs of 1906Rs, so I don't really particularly want these or need these, and not really, I suppose, my cup of tea anyway. They're a bit too shiny. And a pair that I've reviewed, and the review is out online, is the CAYL New Balance 1906 in yellow. I was hoping that they'll be dropping the floating blue pair on the New Balance website, but that wasn't to be, and they did release only on the CAYL website, which is Clone As You Love, and in Korea only. So this is the floating blue colour. This is the pair that I would be happy to sort of grab if I could for retail, but like I said, they were limited, and basically I don't know if New Balance will be getting them at a later point, but they only had the yellow colour. And then a pair that's also dropped and sitting, but I really like these, is the Air Max Thunder and the Fuchsia Flash and Electric Green. Because they're sitting, I imagine they will maybe go up for sales at some point in time, and maybe then, depending on how cheap they are, I may grab one of the colourways, which is more likely to be the Volt colourway, which I do like. But I think there's also a black and white pair coming out, or a black and navy pair coming out, so I may look to sort of hold off and try and grab a pair of those, because I do really like this silhouette. It's very comfortable and very sort of unique looking. And then a pair that I'll be reviewing soon is the Clot Adidas Gazelle Bluebird, And this is a pair that I'm going to be reviewing in the next few days, and I was surprised to sort of hit on them really, because I thought maybe they'll be quite limited because the original Halo Ivory pair was also limited. But I managed to sort of pick up a pair, so I will be dropping a review on those. But it's a pretty cool sneaker at the end of the day. And then next up is the Nike Air Trainer SC. I think these Nike Trainer SCs, I'm just a big fan of them in general, just that whole sort of line. Very sort of early 90s type look to them, and for me, it's one of those ones. I think if they release in the UK, then maybe I'd look to grab them. And this is like the Raiders Awake colorway, which is a nice sort of neutral colorway with a Nike on the heel. And for me, it's like I said, I'd be definitely interested in grabbing it if I could, but it's only US only at the moment. And something which I wasn't aware of and just dropped kind of out of nowhere is on the 23rd of August. And I'm a big fan of the 990 V4s, but this is the Arme Leon D'Or. Both of these are part of their releases, so the red clay and true camo. Out of the two pairs, the true camo pair looks nice, but paying the, I suppose, full price for these is not my bag really. So I've managed to grab a couple of pairs for the cheap, so which I'm happy with, and it's not a must-have either one of the pairs, but if I did, then it'd be the true camo. And then you've got the Nike Air Foamposite 1 DMV, and this released in the US as far as I know. I don't know if it's going to be dropping here in the EU and UK, but it's a nice pair, and if you're kind of into these types of pink sort of colours, then you probably go for this. And it's got some sort of nice hits on it. I do like Foamposites, but not something that I'd probably wear nowadays. And also dropped on the Saleh Bambari website. It was kind of last week, August as well. So for me, it was like one of those ones where I just wouldn't really be trying on the Saleh Bambari website. There's a lot more costs in terms of sort of shipping and also import fees for me. So I'm going to gave these a miss. But maybe if they release on the Crocs website, I'll definitely be trying to go up for a pair. And then also released in really limited numbers, or here in the UK and EU, it's like 6,000 pairs. So it's the Kobe 9 Halo. And, it's one of those ones where it's more for the basketball court, really. Nothing too special in my eyes. Obviously, people who are Kobe fans will be after this. But for me, as a casual sneaker, it's not something that I'd be wearing. And that's why I've given it a 3. So upcoming releases, so ahead of this week, so coming up very, very soon. The first one up is the Reebok BB4000, which is the Romulus Aliens collab, and it's got that kind of washed sort of dirty look to it, and a cool sneaker, a very much sort of nod to the 80s, but for me it's not something I would look to grab. But I do I do sort of respect some of the Reebok silhouettes, especially during late 80s and early 90s. They did have some really cool looking sneakers. And then we also got the Armanier Jordan 3, which is coming out on the 27th on Sneakers Up and some retailers. So it's a pair that I like, but it's not something again that I would look to grab, because I think the J Balvin, both of the pairs are nicer than either of the Jordan 3 collabs in my eyes. So I'm quite happy with those. And then you've got the Jae Tips Omni to-do list collection. I just like the colorways that Jae Tips is using on his sneakers. It kind of gives me that De La Soul vibe, which is like early 90s kind of I suppose more sort of that flowery hip hop, and it's a nice pair. But Saucony is not something that I'm into, and I think these would be hard to get anyway. And same goes for the Jordan 17 Low UNC. It seems like these will just be releasing in the US. Because I never saw them release in the UK and EU, even the Lightning pair. But it's not a pair that I particularly like, in all honesty. So again, it looks very sort of heavy, clunky, and I think it's mainly the special packaging which is drawing people in, and also the limited numbers. And then you got the Air Jordan 1 Retro Low OG Oxidized Green. So these were supposed to have released a couple of weeks back, but either they've had a wrong date, or it's just basically not happened and they've been pushed back. But it seems a bit of an odd time to release them on the 29th when there's so many other pairs coming out from Jordan within that time period. So, but I imagine these will sit. They do look cool, but it's just one of those ones that I don't think a lot of people are going to be after. And then on the 29th, we've got the Carnival Asics GT 2160. And just not a fan of the GT 2160 very much. It seems to be Asics are pushing this model quite a bit. It's quite sort of firm on foot, and again, it's just another one of those Asics sneakers. Looks the same as all the other Asics sneakers. And speaking of that, then it's also the Above the Clouds. They've got another collab or double pack coming out. And same again with this as well. Very average. All the Asics sneakers look like one another. And what can I say really? Not too much. And then on the 28th of August, we've got the Jordan 1 Low OG Mocha. And this is coming out in the UK and EU. And it's coming out late September in the US. And definitely be picking up a pair, at least a pair or two of these. And we'll be reviewing them in due course when they do come. So look out for that. And something which is, I suppose, grown on me more so, and it's the Alexis Sabloon Nike SB Dunk Low. I think seeing some of the reviews from the skate shops on YouTube has kind of got me more interested in the pair really. And when you see them, on photos, it doesn't do them justice versus seeing them, I suppose, more in person or on video. And even though it's got a wear away upper, that's not so much what's attracted to me. The sneakers got more of a sort of brown sort of tint around the green, and that's kind of what changed my mind a little bit actually. And obviously that does wear away after a while, but the sneaker looks quite cool actually. It's got some nice touches on it, so I'm going to be trying to go for them. But obviously if I luck out, then I'm not that bothered about grabbing them on the after sale. And then we've got the Nike AirTech Challenge 2 Hot Lava. I remember my brother having a pair of these. I think it was these anyway, back in the early 90s. But I do like them, but it's not something that I'll be grabbing. Maybe on sale I would, because I do, like the 90s style trainers. But not a must-have, but it's still cool. And then on the 30th of August, you've got the Reebok Answer 3. And in the UK, these types of trainers don't mean too much to, I suppose, me or us here in the UK EU, and these are sort of more for the, I suppose, American audience, because it's a basketball trainer at the end of the day for Allen Iverson. So, but it's one of those pairs that doesn't have too much, I suppose, significance for me. But I understand, in the US, you'd probably be more hyped for these. And then you've got the Kiko Kostianov Asics Novelist, and this is it's a gel Styrax, and for me it's one of those ones where I kind of look at it and thinking, I don't think they needed to be released, to be honest. They just look a bit too out there, but maybe they're quite cool, I don't know. But I usually like things that are different and weird looking, but this one I think is maybe a step too far for me. And then you've got the Air Jordan 3 Cement Grey. I don't think this is a pair that anyone's asked for, but they're releasing anyway. And there's been quite a lot of different, I suppose, Air Jordan 3s releasing over this course of this year. And if I was to pick up a pair, another one again, it'll probably be the Ivory pair, which released earlier on in the year. I think they're quite sort of underrated, but I've got quite a few sort of OG Jordan 3s that I tend to wear more, and therefore, I wouldn't wear sort of any of these types of trainers. And then also on the 1st of September, we've got the Atmos Nike Air Max 90. So I'm not sure if this is just a placeholder date, but this is a reversed up camo. This is a reissue of this particular silhouette. And I imagine it will probably be an Atmos exclusive and maybe not release like, on Sneakers Up, or if it does, it would be at a later date. But a cool looking pair, but not something I'd wear. It kind of almost looks like a bait type sneaker as well. But all in all, very cool.